we're playing Cyber Ops.
Yes,
Which is a strategy puzzle game. I mean, Julio was explaining it a bit before, the like hacking cameras and stuff. It reminds me, like when you were explaining it, it reminded me a bit of Watch Dogs. That's like the thing that came into my head, but I don't know if it's at all similar to that. So
yeah, it's kind of like the minimalistic version of, of Watch Dogs.
I mean, now that I have even the campaign menu open, I mean, we talked about that before the actual interview, and the first time I saw the game, it gave me those Syndicate vibes. Even though from a graphics or from an art perspective, it's completely different. But I don't know. I guess it's the whole mixture. It's the sound. It's the interface. It's, I don't know, the idea behind it. But only the game world is what makes it, different in terms of the optics. But that is why I'm super interested. And I heard rumors that the game is super hard, and I like that. I will fail again right now. I know that, but let's give it a shot.
I hope you like a good challenge.
Yeah.
I do.
Can you give us the premise of the game? I was just reading the text underneath. Like what world does the game live in? I saw
Cyber Ops
some interesting
is set
names
in a fictional world in the future, in the near future. It's a future in which politics and the geopolitical situation has changed a little bit. Some fictitious countries are having some conflicts, but next-gen conflicts, not necessarily like open wars, but the conflicts and the way they resolve, they usually involve a lot of espionage and cyber warfare. So there is this small country that has recently been founded 10 years ago. It's Baltia, as it's separated from a bigger country, and they knew from the very beginning that escaping after a ruthless civil war, they needed to protect themselves. They needed to arm themselves against the threats that are coming in the future. So that's why they decide to create the Geist Division. The Geist Division is kind of like a secret section run by the government and the military to address this kind of next-gen threats. And it translates into what I would call, it's like very similar to Section 9 in Ghost in the Shell. We drew a lot of inspiration from especially the 1999 anime film. You could tell by the overall looks of the game. We basically based the game on that kind of interface. The idea is that you don't you're always immersed in this computer interface. So the unit is already created. There are some hero characters that are leading the story. That's Ellen. She's the captain of the team. She's in on site, like carrying out the operations. There's Dalmantas, the bald guy. He's like the big boss, top rat. He's in charge of the unit, and you are in the middle. You are the operator. You are just supposedly just providing support to these guys as they fulfill some missions. And the first mission starts off with a kind of like a hostage situation. In which there's a prime minister of a foreign country that is on an official visit, and the security detail lost contact with the staff of this prime minister. So your first objective is to reach the upper floors and find out what's going on. So this is how the game starts. You are trying to move these guys around. But something that is intended by design is the fact that the game doesn't allow you to move the agents so so quickly, so easily. Because the idea is that they are not just pawns, they are not just droids that you are just moving around, they are people. So you as an operator, you as a mission coordinator, your mission, you can just recommend and set their priorities, your objectives, and they will find the route based on the information that you provide them. So you can, for example, if there are some cameras in the route, you have some monitoring tools that you can use to detect this kind of surveillance devices. And you can, for example, flag certain areas of the route so the agents take a different route and go safely around.
So the more information that you give the agents, like the easier it'll be for them to get to their target. Is that right?
Exactly. If you just leave them be and just send them right to the target, they'll probably just get killed because there's so much in the area that you are not seeing.
Okay.
This is just the first floor, so there's not too much to see. Just teaching some of the basic mechanics. But in the upper floors and the later missions, there's a lot of enemies and security devices that you have to detect in advance just to prevent your agents getting killed.
On the move.
Have
And
you found?
there are some
Sorry, go ahead.
some cool stuff like that's a part of the fantasy of the world. Like this is the net dagger. Some people laugh about how ruthless this world is, that you have to actually stab a computer to gain access to it. That is because in this world, computers are protected by physical firewalls. So the agents have to actually reach those terminals in order to give you access as an operator, so you can hack the systems. And that is how you go deeper and deeper and deeper.
Okay.
And speaking of community earlier, do you find that now there are players who are better at the game than you are? Probably. I still find it hard to go through some areas, and I've seen some comments already on Steam that people already finishing the game, and Wow.
you know, the idea of making a difficult game was that well, at first we didn't have like too much budget or too much room to make such a huge game with such big amounts of content. So we designed the game around the fact that you have to be really careful and really conscious about your actions. And at the same time, in order to give you a bigger reward once you actually finish a mission, once you beat a boss, once you actually finish the game. So the game is, some people call it like the Dark Souls or Cuphead of cyberpunk strategy, but I don't think it's that much. I think it's just a matter of being careful, understanding the rhythm the game requires. You cannot just go all guns blazing because you're probably just getting killed.
Gotta be stealth. Nico, how are you finding it so far?
I'm a bit overwhelmed. Okay, wait a sec. Okay, okay, got it.
So.
Got it. All right.
So those are the retention windows. That's something that you, once you get access to a system in the world, some new windows will show up. These are called retention windows. And the idea is that you have to constantly avoid detection by the enemy defense system. So as you go around and show these guys what to do, you need to, just keep an eye on the retention windows all the time. Otherwise, they will detect you and you will lose control of that part of the device. Yeah. Okay. Now you just go, Nico. Just
okay.
Yeah, that's exactly. Go to the elevator. Yay! That was the first part.
Oh, is that the first mission?
This is just the first floor, just to teach you how to move around the agents and just to do some basic hacking. But now you're going into some more interesting stuff.
It seems that we have to
Well done, Nico.
I do think that I get what you meant with it's a bit overwhelming at first because there's obviously a lot of functions and features you gotta, what's the word for it? You just gotta get accustomed to, to a point where you just do everything automatically. But I think once you cross that line, I think this could be super intense.
It is. Well, the game has a progression in terms of difficulty, but also in terms of the skills that you can use. The idea is that in the more advanced levels, you can gain access to deeper layers of hacking abilities, up to the point in which you can just hack some cyber brain and take control of their actions. Like they're going to play for you, they're going to shoot the enemies, they're going to protect your agents. But of course, that comes with a cost. That comes with the cost of added retention windows. It gets more intense. There are so much things to take care about. There's a lot of multitasking involved.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah. Nico did mention earlier that he's not good at multitasking. But does the number of agents you get, does it increase as you move through the game?
Yes, you have there are 3 main characters in the world, plus you as the player. Well, one is the boss, and there's Ellen, the team leader. But also some other characters that act as leader in some other missions, like Marcus and Borko. Those are the guys who actually tell the story. But as you progress, you get new recruits as well, who can join your squad. You can set up your own squad. You can upgrade these guys, like with cyber implants, in order to increase their range of vision or their armor resistance. And you also can upgrade your hacking abilities and your support abilities. Like, for example, after each mission, you get to choose which upgrade you want to apply. And for example, you can add a sniper support for your agents, like there's a chopper going around, and you can just pinpoint certain targets so they can take them out. Some drone supply drops, like med kits and kind of stuff. Drones strikes and that kind of thing.
On the move.
Okay.
What's been the most surprising comment that someone has made about your game?
The most surprising comment? Oh, that's a good question.
On the move.
Move, quick.
The thing
Nico's getting really into it.
Don't laugh at me.
Is the fact that most of the people is catching all the references, very obscure references from lots of media and related with the cyberpunk theme, as I mentioned, Ghost in Shell, some I don't know, also some Blade Runner things. There's tons of little references that people are just catching, and I honestly, it was just most of them internal jokes. So it's so cool when people just when you feel that they are catching all the same references, they can enjoy it the same way as it was designed for it.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. That makes sense.
And the other thing is how cool has been the way people
ready at the door.
Kind of like make sense of the characters and find and try to come up with the ideas on how they relate. Like they are expanding the world, and they really enjoy all the narrative aspects, like this kind of just voice only narrative immersion. That's been kind of cool.
No, definitely. I mean, I think, and we saw this in some of our other shows as well,
Roger.
especially when we were talking
Engaging
about,
all
games from the
targets.
80s and stuff. Whenever you have something that's a bit more
What?
minimalist, like your imagination goes into overdrive, so you actually, it's not like it becomes less interesting just because there's less to see, because you sort of activate your own imagination in the gameplay, which is really cool, actually.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
Nico,
no.
you just lost your retention.
I know. No, what? Yes. Damn it, I think I do not have time to actually get back. Sorry for screwing that up. I was about to hit that guy. I was looking forward to hitting that guy.
Seemed like
I'm
you were
sorry.
really on course there for a while. Like you were really.
I'm sorry, I didn't listen to you guys at all. I was just...
Yeah, I know. You're like just.
You just
let me get
try
it.
and open
Great.
the console just from distance. The net dagger is already in, so you can just do it.
But I need to... okay, got it. All right, cool. All right, so... Now I need to do that stuff again. Okay, I just want to hit this dude, and then we move on.
Just Nico, just skip the tutorial. I think that's enough of the basic training. In the bottom right corner, there's a skip tutorial, so you can just go ahead and kill the guy.
Okay. As I said, unfortunately, our time is running out again. This is the bad thing about Let's Plays. If you're really enjoying it, then 15 minutes is certainly not enough time.
It's never.
It's
We were
never.
joking that our games were really hard to, let's play. Because they have
But-
a level
Strategy,
of
tactical
complexity,
games are sometimes
that require some more time. But
more challenging.
But anyway,
But
it's been
to be
great.
fair, I think to a degree both of the games are. Basically every game is a bit more fun when you already know your way around it a bit. I think that
for sure.
not even. Card games are predestined for streaming. This is like there's been previous card games like Hearthstone that are huge hits on Twitch and YouTube and whatever. And this could be super thrilling. Once you get all the controls done, once you know exactly how to go and how to where to click to do what and all that stuff, I think that is a ton of fun. I can imagine.
Lose hours in there, yeah. for
Of
sure.
course.
Just
As
really
I said,
getting
this is like
sucked in.
it reminds me of the first Rainbow Six games where you actually had to plan your missions in the map. And you spend hours upon hours in this map to come up with the best strategy. And this is a lot of fun.